Interior deserted parking lot, night. Nick Moon jogs down a sidewalk and ducks behind a car. His head pokes up, studying an interstate underpass. Spectral analyzer point of view. The area is completely dark except for a small blue light. Moon lowers his goggles to reveal his full face. He hurries ahead. Interior interstate underpass. A vampire seller stands waiting. In his hand is an inhaler with a glowing blue vial. He takes a drag from the inhaler and exhales blue smoke that quickly vanishes. A vampire buyer hurries to the vampire seller.
Hey, punctuality is a virtue.
So is patience. Do you have it?
The seller holds up a glass vial. Inside is a glowing blue mist.
Blue mist. And it's legit.
100% pure spirit essence. Distilled using my family's infamous secret recipe. Guarantees each and every hit feels as good as the first.
How much?
If you have to ask, then you can't afford it.
He whispers into the buyer's ear. Moon stoops down nearby, watching from behind a concrete column. The buyer leans back, nodding. He pulls out a credit card.
You take a card?
There's a 10% surcharge.
The seller puts on glasses and pulls out a card reader attached to his cell phone. Moon tosses a pebble behind them.
You sure you weren't followed?
I'm positive. I'm pretty sure.
The purchase goes through. The seller gives him the vial of blue mist, but he doesn't let go. Instead, he pulls the buyer close.
There's a human by the name of Nick Moon.
Yeah, the PI?
If he catches you with this, you ain't heard of me, don't know how to get in touch with me. Understood?
Sure. I got it. You're really afraid of this guy?
He pulls his shirt collar down, exposing a hideous scar going halfway around his throat.
Look at this beauty. 6 weeks ago, guy tried to cut my damn head off.
Moon steps in from the shadows.
Unfortunately for you, I always finish what I start.
Ah, shit.
Moon raises his Spitfire gauntlet. The seller whistles. Nick cocks his head in confusion. He hears growls from all around. From inside his coat pocket, he pulls out a white marble. He flicks it into the air like a coin. Once in the air, the marble hovers high above the ground and glows, illuminating the sight and revealing that he's surrounded by 6 vampire henchmen.
Son of a bitch.
The vampires step forward. Quickly, Nick rolls to the center of the group, takes a knee and spins around, firing. The vampires fall one by one, turning to dust until none are left. Nick quickly refocuses his attention on the buyer and seller. The buyer is terrified. Nick starts the fire. Sparks. The gauntlet shorts out. Its whirring motor screeches to a halt. The seller draws a knife. A small circular blade falls from inside Nick's coat sleeve and into his palm. He throws the blade. It severs the seller's hand at the wrist. The hand falls, knife with it. The seller clutches his stump. The buyer runs. Nick grabs an old board from the ground and breaks it over his knee, creating a sharp stake. He takes aim and throws it. The stake soars through the air and stabs the buyer through the back. He erupts in ash. Moon turns to the seller, who's crawling toward his severed hand. Nick walks over and picks up the knife from the severed hand. The seller looks up at Nick in terror.
Please.
Nick pockets the knife and tosses the seller the severed hand. He snaps his finger and opens his palm. A small blue flame appears. The seller studies the flame and Nick. Nick looks at the flame and glances at the seller from the corner of his eye.
No.
In a blink, Nick throws the flame at the seller. The flame spreads and engulfs the screen. Cut to title card. Death Bridge.